Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's the podcast that's more schizophrenic than the weather in March in Mississippi. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Copeland's in studio alongside
Cricket, and Jay Reed.
There you go. There you go. So, Jay, how are you?
I'm okay, except the pollen is messing with me. Not too bad. I mean, I've got some customers at the pharmacy that are struggling more than I am, but I got up this morning. It's like 46 degrees and pollen. That's the weather here.
Your eyes are a little watery from. Are you
They're a little bit itchy right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on an antihistamine? What do you take for pollen?
All the time. I take a combination. I don't know that there's anything magic, but I take Zyrtec generic in the morning, and I take chlortrimetine. That's the old word for it, the old brand name. Chlorpheniramine at night. And
what is that now? What is that?
It's chlorpheniramine is the generic name.
Gotcha.
If you go to the drugstore, it'll probably say allergy tablet on the box. That's what ours says.
As opposed to a Benadryl, which will knock you out.
Benadryl is, for me, I reserve that for severe allergic reactions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'm out anyway.
Yeah.
If I'm out for a severe reaction, then I can take a Benadryl and I can go to sleep.
Wow.
Because I will for sure do that.
So pharmacy questions.
Disclaimer, we are not giving advice. We are just discussing.
Oh, no, Jay told you guys.
Professional advice.
Jay told you what to do. He's a
Jay did not.
He's Dr. J. So, what is the difference between the Benadryl that's formulated for allergy versus the Benadryl that's marketed as a sleep aid?
Zero.
That's what I thought. So, Walmart, their Equate brand, their allergy meds, the little pink meds, which are 25 milligrams of
diphenhydramine.
Thank you. I can never say it. That bottle with the same amount is $1 cheaper than the exact same product that's purple that is labeled sleep aid.
Yep. Now the sleep aid, is it 25 milligram also?
It's 25 milligrams.
Because I don't buy it, so I don't.
Well, and then there's a 50 milligram sleep aid.
Yeah, the 50 milligram used to be prescription, and I think now you can get it.
Oh yeah, no, you can get it as a gel tap.
Yeah,
trust me. So, I mean, the thing that gets me is, okay, you can take 2 25s to equal a 50.
Right. So
why was 50 prescribed?
I mean, it's the same as almost any drug. You just your compliance is better if you only have to take one. So if you're looking at prescription drugs, and if you start out on a 10 milligram cholesterol drug, but then you need a 20, well, you could take 2 10s, but you're more likely to take 120 than 2 10s. It's just a mindset thing.
So it's psychology.
Yes.
Wow.
To a certain degree. I mean, it doesn't all add up the way you want it to necessarily, so you need some different strengths. But
so off mic, the next time you and I share a meal, we need to talk about the bill going through the state legislature about reimbursables for independent pharmacies.
Oh man, that's a can of worms.
Oh, I want to understand it better.
Okay.
But anyway,
me too.
Yeah.
But it needs to happen.
Yeah, man. So I've got some.
I contacted my representatives yesterday. It's the first time I've done that in a long time.
Rob,
and Shake.
Yeah.
I think Rob's actually mine, but Shake's in town as well.
And they're both great guys.
Yeah,
they are both. Rob Robertson and Shake
Taylor.
I was going to say more. No, he played for the basketball team. Yeah, Shake Taylor, just wonderful people.
Yeah.
So, but they don't like Rob Robertson over in Columbus very much anymore.
Oh, really?
We'll talk about that.
That's an off-mic discussion too. So we love you, Rob.
Yeah. Most of us do, at least. All right, let's jump into some Geeks of the Week. Would you like to go first, Jay?
I'll go first today. Yeah, this was. I wasn't planning on doing this, but
the show or the geek?
I'll let you decide that. No, the geek started off as one thing, and I went down a rabbit hole, and
imagine.
Yeah, so this may go longer than I intended. But what I originally started with was an announcement that this season. I don't know when Major League Baseball starts. Pretty soon. Today, as we record. Yeah.
Yes.
So this in a couple of weeks you'll hear this, but Yankee Stadium, one of the new.
Today the Cubs open. Well, they opened the season in Japan a week and a half ago, but they're at the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight.
Okay, all right. So
go Cubs, go!
Yeah, so we're all focused on March Madness, but baseball also starts.
No, somebody is. I'm not anymore. So, anyway.
I know you and Art talked about that. I have. As we record, we're at the Sweet 16, and I still have one team in each game. So I could potentially, my bracket could still be perfect from here. Potentially.
I'm in the top 20% on ESPN.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I picked Ole Miss to go to the final game, and that is unlikely to happen.
Yeah, I really don't think
but nobody really thought we'd get this far either. So
I did.
Really?
I did. I thought both Ole Miss and State would make it to the Sweet 16. Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is, State lost 5 of their last 7, and their seeding went boom. Ole Miss got seeded correctly in a great spot with great matchups.
Yeah, so it's been pretty exciting. But anyway, so we're talking about baseball now, though. If you're going to any Major League Baseball parks this fall, this is what I saw first. And I thought,
spring, summer.
Golly darn. It is spring, isn't it?
The only time you're going to a baseball park in the fall is if your team's in the playoffs.
Right, okay.
That's September and October baseball.
We're recording this in March. It is spring. Okay, I'm back now. So if you're going to a baseball game.
What was in an allergy pill you took this morning?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing I saw was Yankee Stadium, and I need to kind of preface this because this is why it appealed to me. When I was a kid, we would ride our bikes. I lived right, just a little bit farther west than your house, which is pretty much walking distance from here.
Yeah.
And we would ride our bikes to the Superette that is like directly behind us now.
Yeah.
On North Jackson. And they had a slush puppy machine, and you could get slush puppies inside miniature baseball helmets.
That's right. Yeah.
So I have pretty much a full collection of baseball helmets, and
of course you do.
After you bought a certain number of the small ones, you could send in and get a big one. So I've got a big Atlanta Braves helmet, with the old little kind of chubby A logo on it. Anyway, so that caught my attention. So because I've got all those cups. Well, at Yankee Stadium, they're going to have those cups filled with tiramisu.
Yes, they are. I saw this earlier.
Right. So I thought, well, there's got to be more information in that. So I looked it up, and here are like the top 10 things you can get according to Fox Sports anyway, at Major League ballparks this spring. Texas Rangers will have a boomstick burrito. It's a 2-foot long burrito. Apparently, they're famous for having 2-foot long foods. It has something called the Texas 24-inch. Is like a whole stand. So this is going to be just a big burrito. We talked about the tiramisu helmets. Chicago White Sox, the Celebration Cake Shake. So it's one of those big.
They have nothing to celebrate there.
Well, it's like a 125-year anniversary.
Who cares?
But they did mention that they had
suck.
a lousy year last year.
They've had a lousy year since 2004.
Like they almost had 125 losses last year.
Yeah, they had 120. I've got the article. 120. They suck. They are horrible. Like AAA teams, the Savannah Bananas could beat the White Sox last year. Okay, sorry.
All right, so then the San Francisco Giants are going to have, and this is kind of goes back to our Marvel stuff, our movies, the souvenir popcorn bat.
32 ounces of popcorn.
No, 32 ounces is the actual bat. The popcorn is 98 ounces.
Oh, I see it. it. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think the Pirates may have that one too. Houston Astros, the Daddy Mac dog, which is a big foot-long Angus beef hot dog slathered in brisket and mac and cheese. I like the sound of that.
See, I don't like brisket and mac and cheese. It just...
Oh, gosh, man. I'm sorry for you.
I'm not a big mac and cheese fan anyway.
Okay, well, we can work on that.
No, you won't because I don't like it.
The Phillies will have a s'mores quesadilla, which is Nutella and marshmallows and graham cracker inside a tortilla.
Looks really good.
Now, they also have, I had to go elsewhere to find this, but they're going to have a red velvet affogato.
We tried one at Dolce with the red velvet
ice cream
gelato.
Gelato, yeah.
Yeah, quite good.
So the Mariners are going to have a What Up corn dog and Little Dumpers. Is there somebody named Big Dumper? Is there a player called Big Dumper? I think that's what this is about. But they're just little like dumplings, like Asian dumplings. But the corn dog, the what up corn dog is, I had one of these at the North Carolina State Fair. It's a Korean style corn dog. So it's got like almost like what looks like panko crumbs on the outside, and they drizzle it with honey. Now this one's blue to match the Mariners, or kind of a blue-green to match the Mariners uniform. But it's a fantastic corn dog, at least what I've had before. Baltimore Orioles, the Warehouse Burger, which is just a super tall, crazy, messy. It's got cheese sauce and onion straws and all this kind of stuff on it. It looks great. It also looks like it would
It's on
be
a pretzel
all over
bun.
your shirt.
It's on a pretzel bun.
Yeah, that too. Kansas City, the Z-Man sandwich. This is in association with Joe's Barbecue, which I think I've had before from Go Belly. It's just a brisket, provolone cheese, a couple of onion rings, and a Kaiser roll. Looks great. So that's the top 10. If you click on if you go to this Fox Sports thing and you click on the site, this Luke, I can't say it, Luke Arcani is the one that put this on X about the s'mores quesadilla and all. So I wanted to find out more about the affogato. You go to his post, and then there's another post that has the Airmark site. So apparently Airmark,
They've got the food.
They've got the food
Yeah.
vendor, and they have an even longer list on their website or whatever about all the different things you can get at all the different parks. And so I probably won't be going to a Major League Baseball park this spring or fall, but
Or summer.
summer.
Got the
And everything in between.
That's when most baseball's played in summer, Jack.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So when it's hot.
See, I'm not a. Jacob played. My son played Little League like twice in his illustrious career, because we lived overseas, and so he didn't really have much opportunity. But we were home one time and he played, and then he played the first year we came back here, and it was fun, but we're not a big baseball family.
Well, see, I love baseball, but I got tired of baseball we did travel ball one summer.
Oh gosh.
And it's like, yeah, no, we're done. So, but anyway. Well, that's cool. I mean, you could do a whole culinary tour of Major League Baseball stadium.
And that would be the reason I would go. I would do it.
There's nothing like a Chicago-style dog at Wrigley Field.
I bet. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, none of this food's cheap anymore.
Well, that was noted.
Yeah. You can't really just get cheap food. A visit to a ballpark is very expensive. At any level. Mm-hmm. So, kind of crazy. Well, I've got a couple of very interesting little tidbits for Geekage of the Weekage. So, remember back in 2015, as Dollar Generals were rapidly expanding, and you had the holy trinity of Dollar General and Family Dollar and Dollar Tree. Mm-hmm. Dollar General and Dollar Tree started to bid on Family Dollar. Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar. That marriage, that stock gun, I was going to say, that's kind of, as in stock, as in, you. Anyway.
A stock gun marriage. I got it now. Yeah.
So Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar for $9 billion in 2015. They announced that they are selling Family Dollar to a private equity group for $1 billion.
Ooh.
So 10 years and $8 billion later, they decided, no, it just didn't work out really well. So I find that very interesting, because Dollar Generals continue to pop up left and right.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
I use them all the time.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was interesting from a commerce standpoint, I just get an email as we're sitting down to record, and FedEx has announced they are doing residential home delivery on Sundays.
Okay, so not just during the holidays, but all the time.
Yeah, well, they never did.
Oh, they didn't?
Residential delivery. FedEx did not deliver on Sundays at all, period. Okay. Postal Service will with their Amazon contract.
Right.
But FedEx had basically said, well, our friends at UPS have refused to deliver on Sunday, so we're bringing it to you. So I found that very, very interesting.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody yesterday about this. Not that particular, but just concerns, because like we have locally an Amazon facility now, and so a lot of your Amazon deliveries are made directly, which is kind of putting a hurting on some of the other companies.
So Amazon's gotten into the last mile delivery, which is really affecting everybody else. So the Postal Service, that Amazon contract has kept them afloat for a few years. So when you finish with the last mile hubs rollout, and Amazon is now a logistics company, my question is, how long before they open up their shipping services to third party?
Yeah.
Oh, I have. So now you can get your Gold Belly, delivered via Amazon courier. Because what that does, if all of a sudden you've got that full third last mile delivery in the chain, then you can go to a company like a Gold Belly or whoever and say, hey, we can deliver across the country cheaper, faster than FedEx or UPS. It's coming. You may have heard it here first. But those are two little interesting facts. My geek, to get it back more geekage, is that this week is 20 years since the Doctor Who reboot started on the BBC. So Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper, Rose was the first episode that aired 20 years ago today, which launched new Doctor Who. And so Eccleston only lasted 1 year in the Tardis because he had issues with producers. He's never said specifically who it was, but that has kept him away from any Doctor Who reunions. He has since softened his stance somewhat and has shown up at conventions because the fans love Eccleston. He did a great job, but he has come back to do some audio series with Big Finish, which is the licensed audio. We're doing creative stories that are going to pop in the continuity, and he is reuniting with Billy Piper to do how many? 9 episodes? 9 new adventures that will fit into that season when he was the Doctor. So that's pretty exciting. Those things
or video?
Audio.
Okay.
Audio. Those things will drop this August, and they will be canon. But we're going to get some more Ninth Doctor adventures, which will be kind of fun.
And I saw Disney Plus, there's a new season coming.
There is, the end of April.
Okay.
Maybe the last season.
Okay.
There's a lot.
You had mentioned that before, so when I saw there was something coming,
a lot of consternation about Doctor Who. They didn't hit their streaming numbers. They have ignored their. I think Doctor Who has done what a lot of other institutions have done, and basically ignore their core demographic and fandom to try to capture new markets, and it's alienated their core. And I think they're going to have to recalibrate and realize who their core fandom is. Anyway, and Judy Gatwa is apparently wanting to move to L.A. because he has a lot more Hollywood opportunities.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's kind of a little bit everywhere. But anyway, so we'll see what happens with that.
All right.
So, all right, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk food robots up next. We're back, and the robots are taking over everywhere. Eventually, maybe robots taking over this podcast, Jay.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Maybe already.
Maybe Art's a robot.
Oh.
Wow. Wouldn't that be interesting?
It would.
It would be. What would a robotic Art look like? Okay. We'll have to table that for a little bit. But a couple weeks ago when Chef Mark and I were in Vegas, we were kind of seeing the sights and looking at some culinary things. And, there was a robot that was kind of cool. So we were looking for a bakery to get something kind of sweet. And so one morning, let's see if I can pull it up. I'm looking at things to do, and Dominique Ansel's Bakery inside Caesar's Palace. Dominique Ansel is the creator of the Cronut,
Right.
So I thought, oh man, this is cool. We can go get cronuts because, we had proof TJ does an amazing cronut, and her cronut is comparable to what we got there. But one of the things that was really cool is they have a robotic cookie shot maker there. And so what happens, they pre-bake these shot glasses that are made out of chocolate chip cookies. So think of a shot glass. It's actually a chocolate chip cookie shell. And so they have these shells on like a 5x5 matrix that's in a glass container, and you order via
like a cylinder almost.
That's right. You scan, you order via the app, and I think it was $7 a piece. I got 2 of them. The robotic arm takes the shot, puts it under the spigot. This Madagascar vanilla milk drops in, takes it over, puts it to a little container and pushes it out, and you have your robotic shot. And it was pretty cool. And it very, very novel. Mark's did not leak, mine did. So you had to drink the milk very quickly, and then eat the cookie. And it was a great cookie, but it was a very, very novel concept, which got me to thinking robots in food. So that's been kind of the as we move towards more AI-enabled things, fast food locations are always trying to automate, bring down their cost of labor. Labor has been problematic in the food industry post-COVID, just kind of across the board, which I think has accelerated the robots coming. But I want to talk to you about robots in food and some of the things I've seen. We saw the smart kiosk with the cookie shots, but as we were setting up as we were setting up Dolce, we were looking to do super automatic espresso. And what that means is you have a box that grinds coffee beans, tamps the puck, and then pulls the shot of espresso all automatically. And you can come in and this super automatic, it's an amazing machine. You can program the pre-brew, you can program the pressure, temperature, all the variables that a good barista would kind of instinctively know if they've been trained, and it creates a consistent great shot of espresso. So you still have to steam your milk in a separate, it's the same machine, but you've got a steam wand, and you program at what temperature you want the milk steam to stop steaming. So that's a super automatic espresso machine. What has happened at Starbucks is they've done something similar. They actually bought a robotic coffee company. And so back in the old days with Starbucks, you would grind, you would tamp, you would pull the shot, you'd make the drink. Now you've got this one machine that's got grinders built in. You've got your decaf roast, you've got your blonde roast, you've got your dark roast. So you got 3 or 4 hoppers at the top that does what I just talked about with the super automatic, so that you should consistently get the same type of espresso, and it
from store to store,
and it brings, you can pull so many more shots because Starbucks is about volume. And so the robots have taken over in coffee to an extent, but looking at a few other things, pizza, salad, you name it, the robots are coming. You're Mr. Culinary. What do you think about robots preparing your food?
When I was looking into it, there's definitely some advantages as far as, if you've got a robot cutting the vegetables. I'm not sure if that's something that's happening yet, but in theory, if you've got a robot doing that, you've got less injury. One of the things you've got in a restaurant commercial kitchen is repetitive motion injury. Repetitive motion injury too. So you avoid that. You avoid other kinds of injuries from knives and such. And really, you could. It's interesting. I was listening to a podcast yesterday about raw milk, and they were talking about and this is kind of a food adjacent, but it really is food related, is how this farm had gone to robotic cow milking. So the cow, they don't bring the cows in and attach everything. The cow walks in, a camera on the milker detects the udder and milks the cow, and then so the cow just kind of comes in when he feels like it, gets milked, and then leaves. And it's all robotic. So the point of that was no human hand is touching the milk from the time it leaves the cow till it gets to the carton, which prevents, at least one level of potential contamination, which, I mean, we're not going to get into the whole thing, but with a raw milk situation, that's even more important. So anyway, so you've got, you're right. I think it's coming. It eliminates some of these variables. What it leaves out is, like you said, the sort of the intuition and the feeling and the vibe of the chef. So you don't have any, this needs a little bit more salt. You can program everything into it. And I was even listening to, this is, again, robot adjacent, but there's something called MEES.
Robot adjacent.
This is a recipe operating system. And it is, I think it's MEEZ, but any case, you program recipes into this, and that way you could train your people and everything. You can scale it up and down. If somebody has an allergy, you can take it out. So that's kind of the thing that's going to lead to, with a robot cook, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the kind of things that would come down the pike. Consistency is good, but you do lose that sort of chef's touch or chef's kiss, if you want to say it that way, of the personalization, and as we go, okay, this is a little bit to this or to that, or it needs this more seasoning or whatever. So in a fast food or a fast casual place where you want consistency from day to day and from really restaurant to restaurant, I could see it being very useful. But in your fine dining, that Dominique Ansel's robot there for the cookie shot, that was just unique visual draw.
That's right.
Good food, but and I think from what I read that RoboChef, the company, came in there and kind of partnered with him to do something, because they wanted to kind of show off their robot as well.
And the robot was doing nothing more than moving and delivering milk.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's I'd be interested to know what the return on investment, how many cookie shots you'd have to sell to pay for the robot, in the end. Because there's a robot fryer, just called the Smart Fryer. I think it's from the same company, the RoboChef. And basically the return on investment on that was 16 months. Yeah. So, I mean, in a big place that is going to be around for a long time, I mean, it might work, in a fast food restaurant that uses a fryer. Yeah.
So just a little inside baseball. One of the things I noticed is you can place the order for the cookie shot and you just go up and get it. There's no human automation or anything like that. So if a cookie shot comes out and there's nobody around, you could just go get it.
I guess so.
I'm just telling you. So anyway,
so stand by the cookie shot.
Stand by the Be hanging out over there by the slots. That's just about 15 feet away, and you just look over. And when you see that arm moving, you could be like, play on your phone like you're doing it, and walk over and get it. That's what I'm saying.
You heard it here first, but not from me.
Cookie shots. Well, you're the one prescribing illegal meds and giving medical advice.
Absolutely not.
So one of the things, I mean, I think you just hit upon it. Robot food preparation is great for established recipes where you've got the metrics already taken care of. The creativity is done. It's you're a repeatable recipe. And there are a couple places doing it. Sweet Green, you're familiar with Sweet Green, the salad franchise? More of a West Coast thing, I think, or definitely a large market. Anyway, what Sweet Green, I mean, they're just like a huge, massive, you're doing these massive salads, right? And I think the chain's been around for almost 20 years. It's got 230 locations. And so they have developed their own robot to make salads.
Oh, wow.
And so what happens is the human walks up and loads the correct dish. And so once you say, okay, they've ordered this salad, you need this type of dish, the human loads the dish, then the robot machine thing makes the salad and it comes out because it's coming from, again, it's pre-apportioned ingredients. A chef salad there's only so much creativity involved in a chef salad. I don't know what's happening with the proteins. I'm assuming the proteins are being cooked and held at temperature and then distributed through. But they have Sweet Green has developed their own robot, and it's in 16 stores? No, 8 stores. And, what they're trying to do is cut down on personnel cost.
Okay.
So it's coming. I mean,
yeah, and you mentioned the temperature. There's something called sous vide, SUVIE, and it's more of a home robot for cooking.
Do you not have a sous vide?
I do not. No, not sous vide. This is sous vide, SUVIE. This is different.
Like say, have you not sous vide?
No, I've got a sous vide machine, but this is sous vide. Almost like Susie, but sous vide.
Okay.
And it does do some sous vide somehow. But this one is a little different. It looks like a big, like, have you seen these big like Ninja air fryers that also are toaster ovens and also are all the things that are kind of a big. So it kind of has that appearance, but the cool thing about it is you can put in, like, I'll put in stuff in my crock pot in the morning, go to work, come back, I got dinner, but it's keeping it
and hopefully
warm.
a house that's just not burned down.
Right. So, but it's keeping it warm all day. It's cooking all day long. Well, this one has a refrigeration component. So you can put the food in based on, they sell food, of course. They sell these little packages you just kind of slide in there and it makes it. But you can do it yourself as well. But either way, it stays at refrigerated temp until the time you set it to cook. So I could leave my house at 7:30, put the food in the sous vide. It's refrigerated until 4 or whatever time it needs to start cooking. And if I'm home at 6 or 6:30, it's cooked and ready to go. But it's not been sitting, at room temp all day waiting for it to cook.
Yeah.
And it can do all kinds of different things. And I think it's not chopping and and adding. See, everything's already there. It's more just cooking, but it does keep it at the right temp for as long as it needs to be safe. So that, I just thought that. And then they're not like the one I looked at was sort of the base model was maybe $5.99 or $6.99, but right now they're on sale for $2.99. So
we're talking $300, $500, $600. Not $2.
Somewhere on.
That's something you get at the at Family Dollar that just got sold. So no wonder they're losing money. They're selling $500. No, okay. So,
but that's the only thing I saw really that was kind of a home model.
I think there are ways away from being integrated into the home. We're not really at George Jetson, food replicator, Star Trek technology yet. But I did see also going back, like there's a cake decorator, I think it was called the B Hicks, and it was more or less kind of a 3D printer concept. Yeah. Where
you program in what you want the cake to look like, and it just does it automatically with all the different colors and icings and all that kind of stuff. And there's another robot, cookie-related robot in Huntsville, Alabama, and I can't remember. I thought I wrote it down, but I can't find the name of it. But it's in a sandwich shop in Huntsville, and you do the same thing. You kind of type in the app what you want, and it has 3 or 4 different kinds of cookies, and they're par baked, and so it'll finish baking the cookie, and then you can put a variety of toppings. So it'll add whatever toppings you want, caramel drizzle or sprinkles or whatever on top of the cookie after it bakes it, and then spit it out kind of like the cookie shot. So that's the closest one I could find with public access to us.
So the article about Sweet Green, the reporter went in. It was an article that was on GeekWire. He said that he did the whole order to kiosk, get the salad out. He said they quote 3 to 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said he got his salad in 2 minutes, and he said it was great. Everything looked great. The whole kit and caboodle, it was completely acceptable. And then going from salads to one of the next things I see that's popping up a lot is automated pizza. So companies have been chasing the automated pizza machine for a while, because if you think about it, I mean, the conveyor belt is the key to the Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars success,
Right?
Because it's automated how long that thing's going to bake going through, right? And if you can have a pre-built dough ball, if you have a dough ball that's already been stretched, and you're able to use a system to drop your sauces and toppings on, you've already got the bake out. You just need to be able to have somebody to capture the pie and put it in a box and label it correctly. So folks have been looking to do the automated pizza, and that's one of the things coming next. I think you're going to see a burger. I mean, I know their companies trying to develop a automated system. I'm sure McDonald's and Wendy's right now. But I mean, you're trying to put a sandwich together and get it into a box with a label and get it into a bag and get it out the door. And we're at a point
With 2 or 3 less people than you would have had 6 years ago,
if not more.
Yeah.
2 or 3 less people per shift. You extrapolate that apart, across 3 or 4 shifts a day, 7 shifts a week. Now you're looking at a big labor market hit.
Yeah.
So they're all coming for us, so. But
now, I don't know if did you see in Vegas? I know it's a big place, but I saw you were talking about the coffee stuff. There was something called Cloufle or Cloufle, Cloufle, and T. Cloufle and T is supposed to be a play on the word cloud, I think, from Rich Tech, and it's got a robot by the name of Adam that serves coffee. Like it does the coffee from. It's completely personless as far as going in and you program what you want and you get the beverage. I think something else called Scorpion that had something to do with serving drinks, but so that's in Vegas now. I think
you realize how big the Strip is.
No, I don't. I mean, I can imagine, but I've never been there. That's why I said
basically,
it's a big place. I know.
The Strip is like walking from here to your house.
Okay.
Full of temptations.
Full of stuff.
And food and alcohol.
Lights and chaos.
Yes. I mean, what is it, 6 miles from here to your house?
Probably.
Yeah. Vegas Strip's probably 3.5, 4 miles total, so not quite. It'd be like walking from here to Obie's.
Okay.
So, to Academy. Yeah. Full of temptations for everyone. So, all right. That does it for us this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time around.